Happy Monday. We have 13 wood item thrift flips, so let's get started. For this first project, I found this oval piece. I don't know what it was for. I'm assuming maybe a candle holder. And I started out by painting it with 2 coats of Cashmere by Fusion. Once the paint was dry, I came back in with this transfer that I've had in my stash for uh, over a year. And I will try to find where I got it from. I'm assuming it was from Amazon. I don't know who made it, but I will find out. And I'm transferring it onto this piece, trying to cover as much as I can. I loved how the colors of the transfer are almost exactly the same color as that cashmere. It makes it look like these different flowers and just the text that's there were almost like painted on. I go ahead and finish up as much as I can to fill the middle, and then I'll take the extra parts of that transfer and find places to add it in on the sides so it's very cohesive and filled all over. Now to fill those holes on the sides of this piece, I'm taking some hot glue and sticking these little sprigs on either side. I think the thing that took the longest was waiting patiently for that hot glue to dry up enough so that the little sprigs wouldn't fall over. And then there was this little glass vase that I had thrifted a long time ago, and it worked perfectly in the center of this. So I will be selling it as a set.
Hi, it's Natalie with Sparks of Joy Studio. Welcome back. Thank you so much for all of you that are here today. Thank you so much for all of those who purchased some things on the website earlier this week. It was a great first 30% off on the 30th of the month sale. So I really appreciate that.
Okay, let's get back to crafting. I had gotten these sofa feet. I'm assuming that's what they were. I found 3 of them. My neighbor had put them in the trash earlier this year, probably back in September. And I saved them and put them in my stash. They are so beautiful. I didn't know what to do with them. So I'm only going to be upcycling one of them today. I painted it with 2, possibly 3 coats of Cashmere by Fusion. And then I just drilled in the hole that's in the middle. I just drilled in a little bit further with a smaller drill bit and then stuck some greenery inside, and that was done. But before I reveal that one, I want to show you something else that I had found at my very first trip to the Goodwill bins. So, this is I guess, a base of a cloche for a cloche that I had found when I was at the Goodwill bins, and I'm going to be painting it with 2 coats of cashmere as well. Once I'm done with that, we're going to transfer on a beautiful transfer from the new Lover of Flowers IOD Spring 2024 release. For our next 2 projects, I created these wooden risers a while ago and they never sold. So I decided to paint both of them in Crinoline by DIY. And now I'm coming in with some liquid patina because I'm going to be doing some decoupage. I have a variety of recycled papers. This first one was a scrap of one of Roycycle's papers that I gotten from Sammy. So I actually don't know which kind it is, but I get my Roycycle papers from Sammy at Unicorn Dust Designs. I will leave a link to her store in the description box. I'm covering the entire piece with that liquid patina, and now I'm laying down not my transfer. I'm laying down my decoupage paper and I'm just very, very carefully smoothing it out. I actually realized as I was doing this that I have a tool that I had gotten specifically for this type of decoupage when you're not like waiting for it to dry and then doing it the iron method. Here is the second riser, and I will be showing you that tool that I was talking about. I don't know what it's called, but I will find it. I got it off of Amazon and I will leave it linked. It I do the liquid patina on this one only on part of it because it is a longer piece and I don't want that liquid patina to dry before I'm done. I had already measured out where I wanted to put this because for this riser, I am going to have the decoupage paper go over the sides because it is a chunkier riser. This is the tool that I'm talking about that's helping me smooth out any wrinkles. And then I'm going to continue all the way down, putting on some liquid patina and then smoothing it down, putting on more, smoothing it down. Another thing that I learned to do by Royce herself, the person who creates all the Royce cycle papers, she spritzes her paper with some water to help allow it to stretch a little bit more, to make it a little bit more pliable, and then also to allow the wrinkles to smooth out. So that is something I do. You don't want to spray it too much. You don't want it too wet because it will rip. But if you are very gentle with it, it actually is a method that works very, very well. Now I'm snipping the paper in the corners at an angle, the way you see me doing here. And I am doing that so that I can easily fold down and decoupage the around the edges of each of the sides of the riser. I let it dry and now I'm coming in with some sandpaper and I'm very lightly sanding going down so that I can get the excess paper off without ripping the paper that is decoupaged on. Then I come back in with the liquid patina and I seal up the entire project to seal in all of that paper as well as any of the paint around the sides. And here's a look at our final projects. Next, I have this oval tray that I got at the regular Goodwill for $2.99, and I'm going to start off by using my heat gun to get those stickers off. They were very, very stuck on there, but when you blast some heat on them, it's amazing how easy they come up. I forgot to get a clip of this, but I ended up painting the entire piece in a custom blend of Bayberry by Fusion and Oyster by Dixie Belle. That is an all-in-one silk mineral paint. I am now taking this transfer from Milo's Pages by IOD, and I am going to be transferring these fish on all the way across the oval tray. As you notice, I've taken off the two handles that are on the sides. I decided to leave them off because I wasn't sure if this would be a piece that somebody would want to hang on the wall or to use as a platter or, tray of some kind. I transfer on this piece and then take some of the extra fish that I cut off to kind of position this on, and I add them to that part on the left that is empty, and then another piece that is on the right. I sanded the edges of the tray on the oval part, both on the inside and the outside, just on those edges. And then I seal up the entire piece with antiquing glaze by Fusion, and we are done. Next, I have this small wooden crate that I had thrifted, and I'm going to start by putting some little feet on it with those wooden spools that I have. As you can see, I have another one of those raised boxes in the background. This is when I actually started this project. After I glue those on with Type Bond Quick and Thick, I'm gonna let that sit overnight, and then I'm gonna paint it with that same mixture of bayberry and oyster. Now I'm taking these transfers also from Milo's pages, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to cut it so that as I transfer on the pieces to each one of those slats for the crate, that it looks continuous across the bin. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that up and then transfer it on. I do not have a clip of me transferring it on because my mom called in the middle of me doing this and I completely forgot to hit record again after I spoke to her. So I apologize. So once I get those transferred on, I'm going to seal everything up with liquid patina by DIY, and then you'll get to see the finished project. I didn't have enough to get the other part of this completely covered. I would love to know, comment down below what you think I should do with those bottom two slats on this side of the box. Now we're moving on to this little wood scrap that has some hooks on it that I got at the thrift store for 96 cents. And I had started by painting it in cashmere, but I knew it was going to take way too many coats to get the project completed. Plus, I wanted to try a different color. So I'm coming in with Spanish Moss by Dixie Belle, and this is one from their chalk paint line. I had one leftover little fish from that project we did earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and place it right in the center of this. And I feel like this is a very neutral, very simple project, but something that would be perfect for maybe a Father's Day gift. Now I'm taking some Grunge Gray Best Dang Wax by Dixie Belle, and I'm going to be covering this entire piece and then wiping back the excess. And once I complete that, we are done. For our next project, I have this trinket dish, this little wooden trinket dish that I had gotten over a year ago, and I had painted it many different colors. I did not like that yellow. So I'm going to be taking that same color, that Spanish moss, and I'm painting the entire little dish in this color. Now I'm going to take this beautiful rose from the Lover of Flowers transfer set, and I'm going to be placing it off center over to the right hand bottom side. And then I'm going to be taking some of the text from that same transfer set and adding it to the left top side. I'm sealing this piece with a polyacrylic sealer by Minwax. It's a satin finish. and then we are done. I thrifted this wine box a few weeks back, and this is a wonderful example of why I need a color wheel to tell me what color to paint a project. I painted this initially in gray, then I created a stripe of the gray and taped it off and then put white on it. And then I went back over again with I believe it was cashmere. I mean, I went all over the place with this project, but you're going to see what I ended up finally deciding on. I'm sanding off those sides just to create that clean edge. Then I'm sealing the entire top with liquid patina. I ended up painting the rest of the box inside and out using that mix of bayberry and oyster, so I am trying really hard to use up some of my paints. And here's our gorgeous final project. I absolutely love how that custom green matches so well with the colors in that decoupage paper. Now we have this vertical sign. I loved the wood around the sides, but the text on the inside I wanted to change up. So we're coming in. I started out again with Cashmere by Fusion, but I then decided to go in with Chateau by Fusion, which is just slightly more of a yellow undertone versus a gray undertone. Now I'm going to be taking 3 of the stamps from the Pastiche Stamp set by IOD. This is part of their 2024 spring release. And I'm going to be stamping them going up and down, like vertically, from top to bottom, using a butterfly, the little pocket watch, and then this stack of books. Now I'm going to be covering all of those stamps that I just laid down with these masks so that I can put something else onto this piece without ruining the beauty that these stamps offer. So by putting these masks down, what I'm going to end up doing is taking the Le Courier stamps and I'm using stone gray. And when I stamp it on, because of these masks, it's going to look like this was behind the piece, not in front of it. You'll see what I mean once it's done. And here's our beautiful new vertical sign. I did not need to seal this up because that ink is permanent and the paint behind it also has a self-sealer. I thrifted this cutting board, which is wood on one side, and then the front of it actually has this really cool stone. So I am painting the entire piece right now with Cashmere by Fusion, again, trying to use up that paint. And then I'm going to be coming in and putting a transfer only on the front part where that black stone is. I think it's stone. I don't know. Comment below if I'm wrong. I had all these different pieces, but I ended up deciding on this, these sprigs. I think it might be lavender. I actually am not sure, but this is actually not an IOD transfer. It's another transfer I've had in my stash for a long time. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's redesign, but redesign with Prima. I'm not sure, but I will tell you when it transfers onto this black background, it looks amazing. Once I had that done, I didn't like how it looked with the cashmere color, so I did end up repainting the wood part of this cutting board in Conservatory by Fusion. I added on a piece of nautical rope at the top where that hole is, and then this project was complete. Oh, I also sealed it. I apologize. I sealed it with a clear wax. Our final project, and by far my favorite today, I have this nightstand that my husband found on the side of the road for free. It was in amazing condition. The drawers open and close beautifully. I am shocked that we got this. It is such good wood too. I started by painting it with Laurentian by Fusion, but again, I was not a fan, and I decided this was going to be a birthday gift for my daughter. So I'm coming in with Mist by Fusion, which is beautiful, very, very light bluish purple. And I am painting the entire base, the entire nightstand, but not the drawers in this color. For the drawers, I created a purple using a mix of a bunch of different colors. I have Winchester, Mist, Seaside, and then I added in some midnight blue. And I mixed all of that together to create this custom color. And I'm painting both of the fronts of the drawers with that color. Between coats, I came back to the nightstand and I wanted to transfer on a variety of these gorgeous transfers. I'm trying to use up these transfers. I've used them in other projects you've seen. These are the last of them. So I am coming in and putting them just on the sides, coming off of one side's coming off of from the back to the front, and then from the front to the back, only on the sides of the nightstand. I did not put anything across the top or anything on the drawers as far as transfers go. What I showed you right there was a little chip that had happened with the paint, and I just am covering that up with the transfer. I took the knobs and the drawer pull and I sprayed them with some gold spray paint, just something I had in my stash, and then you will get the final reveal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again this weekend where I will have more information about our upcoming contest challenge for both viewers and content creators. Have a happy week.